Joining me, it's President Ved Jain. Mr. Jain, thank you very much for your time and thank you for joining us on the firm. Let me ask you the very first question, sir. ICAI issues this notification on the 31st of March, the last day of the fiscal, days before companies start reporting their earnings. How do you expect corporate India to be able to comply with this notification? They're just going to run out of time.
I may just clarify, we have not issued any new notification on 31st March 2008. We have just issued a clarificatory statement clarifying the position, what is existing as per the accounting standard. We have clarified that the accounting standard AS 30 and 31 were issued in the December 2007, and we have made it recommendatory from 1st April 2009 and mandatory from 1st April 2011. Consequent to that, certain confusion were prevailing in the market, and when many people approached us, what is the right position, we thought it fit to come out with a statement clarifying the situation. So we have done nothing on the new on the 31st March 2008. We have reiterated the position which were prevalent earlier also.
Are you saying, Mr. Jain, then, that though the notification encourages companies to adopt AS 30 immediately, you are not expecting companies to adopt AS 30 for the reporting of 2007-2008 numbers, and maybe not even for 2008-2009 till next year's deadline, recommendatory deadline, comes into force?
No. I think you are wrongly interpreting it. But we have stated we always encourage early compliance, early implementation.
But it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory for chartered accountants governed by the ICAI to insist on the adoption of AS 30 for this following set of earnings that are going to come out this month for the quarter that is over and the year that is over.
Yes, we are very clear. We are not saying it is mandatory. But we will, as a best accounting practice, we will encourage companies to early adoption.
All right, so that's one big relief, sir. Also, I think the audit world as well as CFOs are looking for clarity on a bunch of issues that they think are still in grey area. For example, do you have to account for the portfolio as whole of derivative instruments, or do you have to account for them instrument by instrument? Also, the other issue, is this only applicable to forex derivatives because the note mentions forex derivatives in one place and then derivatives in other places, or is it applicable to all derivatives? Could you clarify those two issues, sir?
I will clarify the second position first.
Yes.
The note mentioned forex derivative and derivative both. The reference is given to the forex derivative because the issues which came to us was concerning forex derivatives.
Okay.
But we will clarify that this is applicable to forex derivative as well as to other derivatives also.
All right.
So that's not that there's no confusion should be on that point. But as regards to the portfolio analysis, I think enough guidance is available in AS 30. It's a very big document. All that the company, corporate and the auditor is supposed to go through that document. It provides enough guidance how it has to be valued, whether it is on portfolio based or instrument based. It's enough guidance available there in AS 30.
All right, Mr. Jain, my final question. The fact that you said that this is not mandatory for this year's filing is a big relief, but many people in the audit world are still worried about the fact that we don't have any fair valuation principles in place. Now, it's easy to assess fair value for those derivative products that are traded in the marketplace. But what for products like interest rate swaps that are between individual companies and their banks? How is the fair value of those products going to be assessed? Who is going to monitor whether this fair value meets with, let's say, international standards of assessment? How is it going to be done? Can we expect follow-up circulars, notifications in the course of the next 12 months so that next year, when this guideline becomes recommendatory, there is more detail available?
See, let me clarify the first statement you made it. What you have stated is that AS 30 and 31 is not mandatory and the company has an option. I am reiterating the situation, yes, it is. But that does not mean that the losses are not supposed to be provided for. Because in that statement, we have very clearly stated that AS1, which talks about the prudence, provides that all known liabilities and known losses are supposed to be provided for.
So what you're saying is while AS 30 comes into recommendatory force starting next year, April, companies even now have to provide for losses on account of forex derivatives or any other derivative financial products. Is that correct?
Yes, you are correct, absolutely.
And how are they going to do this, sir? Where are the fair value principles in place? Oh, CFOs don't have the experience, auditors don't have the experience. In other countries, it took years for fair value principles to be evolved. How are companies in India going to do this?
See, the principles are very well settled. Wherever the losses are being anticipated, AS1 also provides guidance on that. You have to make out an estimation. See, you need to make a distinction between AS1 and AS30. AS30 is an exact measurement of the profit and losses. That's why AS30 allows you to take into consideration losses as well as profit, because it provides guidance to you how to measure that profit and losses. I appreciate that AS1 there may not be a guidance to measure exact amount of profit and losses. That's why AS1 talks of the prudence, and prudence says all known losses and known liabilities need to be provided for on the fair estimation, and you need to make an estimate to the best extent possible available information, which may not be a precise, which may not be the exact measurement. That's why we say it is not a
but
fair
then we're going
value.
to have even more confusion in the marketplace, Mr. Jain, because if we don't have exact parameters, different companies will account for the losses in different ways.
I see, probably you may be, I think it may be a hypothetical question, but I believe after AS30 being there, in case anybody wants a guidance on how to measure fair market value, it's enough AS30 is there. And
so what you're saying is you follow the guidance of prudence based on AS1 and take the parameters from AS30 in terms of how to quantify those losses. If I got this correctly?
You are correct, because you see, in case you are in dark and you want some guidance and there is any other material available, AS1 also talks about it. You need to estimate to the best of your known sources, and one of the source in case you have, then you take care of that.
All right, Mr. Jain, you've said what you've had to. We'll come back to you if we need more clarifications. Ved Jain, they're the president of the ICAI. ICAI's clarification brought